Not bone and tails, no back and tails, no duck tails. Woo!
Am I imagining things? In Guardians of the Galaxy, Howard the Duck, was that Seth Green?
I hope so. What?
That's a skit.
What was that? Oh no, I thought you were just talking.
I have nothing. A sarcastic humanoid duck is pulled from his homeworld to Earth, where he must stop an alien invasion with the help of a nerdy scientist and a struggling female rock singer. All right, guys, here we're going to talk about the movie Howard the Duck.
In the beginning there was Howard the Duck.
1986's Howard the Duck. Lee, had you seen it before?
Yes.
Finally.
I think we had like taped this off the TV and we had it or something. Because I remember watching this a lot as a kid. I'm not sure if it was on television, Channel 11.
This played quite a bit on television,
so it's one of those.
I also have fond memories. This harkens back to a time when movies didn't need to have logic or plot sense or really anything.
My favorite.
Just throw outlandish crap at the wall, whatever sticks, that's a movie. And that's Howard the Duck.
The movie's extremely strange. I've been avoiding this, I think, in my regular life because I'm like, you remember liking that a lot. It's probably not good or something. I think it has problems, both structural and just general. But I was really pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed it on the rewatch. I don't think it's just nostalgia because I'd forgotten most of the movie. This is one of those where you're like, I like that. What do you like? Like 7 minutes that I can remember. It's like, what's the rest of it? I'm like, I don't want to watch it again. It's probably bad. But I liked it.
It's a movie that would be on TV, and I would never start at the same point again.
You just saw parts of it.
Because it feels like it's a long movie that has like multiple places where it could end. And and as a kid, especially watching something, you're like, yes, how many Howard the Duck movies are there?
Yes, the saga of Howard the Duck continues.
Oh, it's only one. What?
Yes.
All right, so it looks like we're both in agreement here. This is a thumbs up movie. You should go check it out. So if you've seen it or don't care, follow the spoilers. And if not, pull out now.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
All right, so here we are for the spoilers of Howard the Duck. Lee, let me hear them spoiler-filled thoughts.
I was shocked at how much I liked it still.
Oh yeah, I like anything with practical effects and weird, goofy shit.
Like in my head, I was afraid, there's some cool like lobster at the end, but it also sucks, and like there's some goofiness, but it's not like good or something. But this has legitimately good things in it that I was like, this is good.
Yeah.
I enjoy this very much.
Tim Robbins did not remember him being
totally
in
forgot
this,
he was even in it.
I was like, okay, that's great.
Howard!
What's the other guy's name? Is it Jeffrey Jones? What is the guy from The Pest?
Registered sex offender.
Yes, what is it?
That guy. Jeff Jones.
Rooney?
Yeah, we don't want to say the wrong name, I guess, but Jeff, I want to say Jeff Jones.
Any questions?
Yeah. Where are my pants?
Is his name.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'll show it if it's not that, but whatever. I like him. I know he's like
listen,
a whatever,
I
but...
double-checked the story, and it seems like he had some sort of breakdown and paid some underage model for like photos or some weird thing. He didn't like touch anybody or something. He's still a creep. It's still bad.
Yeah, no smoke without fire, but...
Exactly. But, it seems like some...
Again, not saying that I like him, but I always like the characters he puts on screen.
Yeah, and he's really good at this.
He has some good stuff.
Yeah. I'm not here to like defend any of his personal things. I'm just saying, like, I did check just in case I had to come here and say, despite him being the worst person on the planet, I like him in this movie. But now I'm like, okay, it sounds like he's a creep. He's not necessarily a rapist.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah, I've always been pretty good about separating the like. I can appreciate
the art from the artist. Yeah.
I don't care if you're a director that's a scumbag. You're not like, I like the thing. I'm not here to say like, oh, let me high five that guy.
Yeah.
You could spit in his face. I don't give a shit. But you tell me you don't like Ed Rooney, you're a liar.
Exactly.
You're a liar.
Yes, he was all over the place during this time period. He was in a lot of stuff, right? This is before any of that stuff happens.
For sure.
Yeah.
So like the movie starts off with just a lot of fun stuff. Like, just the pan around his apartment, all the little.
I love you so much. It hurts. Like Cancer Society.
$79.95. Forget it. $49.99.
References and spoofs on like their world comparatives to our world. I love all that stuff.
Yeah, this was so like on the rewatch I saw it coming, and I was waiting for the duck tits. But which everyone can't stop talking about that. Duck tits, woo, that whole thing.
Just grab onto some duck tits, woo.
But yeah, the whole apartment thing is very weird because like there's pictures of him being a duck man, and then like, but they like don't show his face for a while, where like the audience is like supposed to be like, wait, is he a duck man? And then he is, and you're supposed to be like, wow. But I'm like, this is very obvious. There's like family photos where everyone's a duck, like, and there's all these puns where they like change
the puns
stuff
are fantastic.
to mallard or
and
egg
the
or
actors
something.
like names changing too.
I forget all the examples, but yes,
Oh,
there's a bunch
it's
of
something
things.
with something.
Yes, but like it's just like a brainstorming session of like, oh, Sylvester Stallone, but an egg or some weird, it's some dumb. It's like I also appreciate it, but yes, it's very much just what you would expect. Yes,
and there's just so much attention to detail, like, and like that was the '80s. Just like let's just put a lot of time and a lot of money to things that are really insignificant, and like. This is such a fantastic. So like this is George Lucas, putting like every dime into this movie and like hoping beyond hope that he's going to recoup his losses.
This is gonna be my big break.
Yeah, this causing like I think the start of him selling off pieces of his shit and the birth of Pixar.
I did not double check the background, but I like remembered this being in the pantheon of history
flop,
and stuff. Yeah, definitely. But his name's in there in the beginning or something, right? It's presented by or something. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
Or it's his baby. He sat on that movie, waited for it to hatch, and it turned out.
And I do think it is a good movie. Like it's fun. It's definitely you need to like. To make this a wide release might be a mistake. Like it has a niche audience here.
It should be shown only in theaters that show snuff films and like small screens.
Well, for just how expensive, like I think the costume alone is like $2 million.
I think he's for real. If your goons are finished, go. Ow!
Yeah.
That's a lot of money to be thrown around to make this film here. And
so
you
like
need to recoup a certain amount.
we may not mention this elsewhere, which will be merciful, but there's a whole set piece towards the end. If we're gonna jump around,
jump
with
around.
Tim Robbins and Howard in a little plane.
Full throttle! Cops, Filzy! 180, Howard!
Oh yeah.
And like it goes on for so long, which the movie's too long, but it goes on for so long. But I remember halfway through just getting like a warm feeling, like you're watching Cheers or something, and you're like, Norm, you just feel happy because I'm like, look at that. There's cars, they're running them over the ramps and flipping over cars and stuff, and they're filming all this. It isn't like they're in like a CG environment.
Oh yeah, no, that's
it's
real.
Just freaking it's like a stunt man hanging from a little thing. Maybe
No,
it's,
actually
maybe
Tim
it's
Robbins.
on a crane or whatever. No, like whoever. Right, but that's the whole thing. I'm like I got this I was like, oh, it's like the kid part, and then I'm like, yep, I'm bored, and then I like came all the way around where I'm like, this is so nice that they just continue this like 10-minute long sequence where there's trucks
It does
driving
feel like a whole
and
other
landing
movie
and stuff.
starts around
it's
that.
crazy.
Now. You're like,
it's
wait, how long
ridiculous.
is it? What point of the movie are we at?
Yeah.
And if you've never seen it, you could logically think, okay, we're winding up, it's going to end, and then it's a whole like we're on the run, a whole new bad guy, like a thing happens.
Oh yeah.
Follow him, bring him down, and bring him back. I want that duck. Dead or alive.
Yeah, there's so much. The movie's far too long.
Yeah.
And its structure kind of breaks down in a few places. But like that scene, I think is emblematic of like, is that good? Like, no. Is that for kids? Maybe. Why is this in there? I don't know what's going on. Like who's this movie for?
It does have a weird tone issue there, where who is it for?
But like,
you can't have duck tits and say it's a children's movie.
Yeah.
Every day that I am making duck.
But I enjoyed it being practical and it being real.
Oh, yes.
And not coming off as like whatever. But like that's not like creature practical or like sci-fi practical. That's just a couple people in a weird little fake plane thing. But I still was like, oh,
it's arguably creature practical.
Yes, he's in there. But I was like, old movies used to be so cool when they would just do all these things. Yeah, it made me feel good. That whole thing.
I'm bailing out.
No, you're not. You're gonna get up there and fix this lawnmower now.
Yeah, Leah Thompson, a big
My
fan
wife.
since like Back to the Future. I liked the Caroline in the City sitcom. Like she's got a lot going for her, and this not a big hit for her, but I think she was good in it.
I don't want to take us to horny corner here or something, but I think I was at
That's going to be a new segment.
Don't mind me.
Lee's horny corner, but like I think I was the right age during this time when she tries to like fake seduce Howard. I was just like, I'm in love with her.
Okay. Let's go for it, Mr. Macho.
What do you mean? Okay, it was a joke.
Or sorry, I think
I'm a duck.
Could I be your duck, madam? I think that I watched hundreds of hours of Caroline in the City just because of the impression she left on me in this movie.
Yeah.
She's a rock star.
Give me a beat! 1, 2, 3, 4!
She's in like her underwear being horny for a duck.
Let's just face it. It's fate.
No, it's not. I've got a headache.
And I got the aspirin.
She's like the damsel in distress.
No, Beverly!
She's also like a sassy, tough chick.
Freeze!
Book 'em, ducko.
She's great in this. I
Yeah.
was like, this is wonderful. I'm so happy.
Lead singer of the Cherry Bombs, and,
Yeah.
and is actually singing.
Really?
Yeah, that's her.
Oh, I'm even more in love.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I can make it here in Honda City.
At the age of like 4 years old, I would have just assumed everyone's singing.
Of course.
So I feel like whatever. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I read a thing that said that even as they filmed it, they didn't know if she was going to be in there or overdubbed, so she sang her heart out there, and ultimately that it did make it in there.
hilarious.
And I'm wondering if it's because they were at the end of production, they're like, cut our fucking losses. What are we doing here?
Oh
We
my
can't be putting
God.
more money in there.
Print
they
it.
said two executives got into a fist fight over who greenlit this movie, and I love that.
That's amazing.
But I do you can understand that. Where you're like if you're watching this final product, you're like,
Well, because
what did we make?
Because picture the cell. It's like George Lucas, like, yeah, it's about a duck, but trust me, this is it. We're gonna do this.
Yeah.
And then like, yes, seeing dailies being like, what is going on? Why is the guy in the lab coat shooting lightning out of his hands? And it's like, no, trust me, the duck movie's gonna be the thing for us.
Yeah.
And it's like, who? What? Oh God. Does he have duck powers? There's a whole scene dedicated to the fact that he has no powers,
Yes.
which I actually think is really cool.
Can you burn a hole through this with some kind of eye laser?
Can I bite your nose off with my super bill?
Sure.
There's nothing-
The only part that ruins that is Tim Robbins says something like, in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's a duck. And I'm like, well, a duck is a bird, so fuck you.
It's more specific, duck, yeah. No, he's like, can you bend steel? Read my thoughts. All these things. And he's like, get off of me, you asshole. And he's doing that stuff. And I'm like, that's so good because you might be tempted to think, well, he knows quack fu earlier.
Sure.
Maybe maybe he has the density of like 10 humans in this tiny body.
10 ducks.
Of 10 ducks. in a body the size of 10 ducks. Or something. Yeah. And you're like, what's happening? But it's like no, he doesn't bust out any weird duck-based powers. He just solves all the problems as a tiny man who can't do anything.
Yeah,
which is
but
like awesome.
he is a powerful little man.
Yes,
and he does
it's
a lot
great.
of cool things like becoming their manager and taking over that spot. Standing up to their old manager, getting their money. I liked all that shit.
I didn't remember that scene going into it, but as soon as he has the ice pick, and I'm like, he's gonna kill that guy, and it goes into his earring.
Yes.
That like triggered all these fever dream memories in my head of like I've seen this, and it made a huge impression on me at the time. Because I'm like, Howard's gonna kill that guy. He's an actual murderer.
I meant to look it up and I forgot till just now.
Yeah.
But like one of the goons that's with the guy,
Bobcat Goldthwait. It's not him. No.
my gut said that it was the guy from Super Mario Brothers. That it's one of the amazing Koopa cousins.
Oh.
A not so benevolent dictator, as it were.
Oh no.
And I didn't fact check it,
All right,
and like
maybe.
he's not in it for a lot, so I could totally be wrong. And like he's the kind of guy that like wears a lot of shit.
The one that has more lines, the one that talks, right? The other guy.
No, the taller one.
Ginger, I warned you when you got into rock management, you'll be dealing with the entertainment types, different strokes and all that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Ig or something, whatever his name is.
His name is Ugg. I don't know why.
I forget what his name is. But yeah. But there were a couple of ones that I'm like, oh no, that is a person. Like one of the bandmates is a relatively famous actor. She was on Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Oh.
Casey! Meet Howard. Wow. Hi, Howie. We've heard so much about you. Of course, we didn't believe it.
Your TV polls are so crazy.
I watched a lot of TV, you see.
It was just me and the TV for my whole childhood. Yes.
But that was cool.
I've given up trying to assimilate. I've got to get back to my own kind. Although...
So we're talking about the effects, though, right? There's so much to say here.
Sure.
You dropped the price tag of the Howard.
Yeah. That's a pricey suit.
Suit and prosthetic or whatever.
For sure.
I think it was the eyes, but he reminded me of Macaulay Culkin.
Okay.
We'll see if we can find something that makes sense with those. Dreamy, I think it was the eyes. I don't know. But something about the face, there were a few shots where I was like, it's Macaulay Culkin.
I do love that costume, and it has like a lot of expression for what it
Yes.
is. There's like a part where like she like caresses him and his like feathers like.
I just can't resist your intense animal magnetism.
Whoops.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, okay, like things are happening, they're doing that, and I was trying to picture how that costume even worked, like, because it's some sort of animatronic over the head of the guy, and I'm
Yeah.
like, well, how tall is the guy that's in there? And I know it was played by like 9 actors, and like one guy was, I guess, like the main
sure,
one.
sure. There's a bunch of
but like
credits
there were
for
some
Howard,
kids
right.
that were in there doing things, like.
Yeah, this must
I
have been
wonder-
for like certain shots they got.
But it seemed like it had a great amount of expression of movement too, because like he's doing things, and occasionally like they pick him up and just move him around, and I'm like, it's probably humiliating as like a duck in charge, but it looked good. It always looked nice.
No, it never broke. I was never like, oh, sure. That's like you watch even like TMNT, and there's certain points where you can hear in your mind the chunk of like the weird animatronic stuff happening.
Or you can see a
with
mouth
this-
inside the mouth.
Oh,
and you're like,
God.
oh, creepy.
Oh no.
Especially with the new higher def releases of that stuff. There's a lot
shit.
of stuff you can catch.
Welcome! Gosh, it's kind of like moonlighting, isn't it?
This
Yeah,
like
but this like melted into the performance,
Oh, yeah.
or like the character from the effect. Or
sets were
something,
great
yeah.
too. I loved her apartment. Like,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like she kind of no sells it as like, oh, this is my scummy. I'm like, this place is amazing.
Come on in. Sort of a disaster area.
Like,
love this
sorry.
place.
Yeah, it's one of those awesome old like movie places to
Yeah.
live where you have like the loft and like the weird industrial elevator or something,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone's like, I get by, and it's like, you have the coolest place. Never,
Yeah.
no one gets to live here.
This is a
Dudes-
3,000 square foot room. Like, I love
This
this.
is where people from Fight Club live. This is great.
Yeah. But doesn't lock the doors apparently, because scientists just fucking walk in.
Oh yeah.
My God. This relationship, it defies all the laws of nature.
No, it doesn't.
I was like, you live in a bad neighborhood. There's no way you're gonna lock the doors. That's bullshit.
They have a science thing to open the door. Nailed it.
Tim Robbins, like, is a scientist,
Yeah.
but he's like a scientist janitor.
He's more of a
like not a
janitor.
real scientist.
It's pretty cool.
His character is like, I love him, I think, because he's so bad.
It's nothing! It's nothing! Never mind! Carry on, Dr. Chapin.
Yeah.
And knowing that how good of an actor that he is, it's all a choice.
He's trying to do that.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
all a choice.
That's where I give him the major pass there too, because I do not like this performance. But it is 100% intentional, or like he was directed to do that, or something. There's something going on, whatever. Yes.
I love though, like, that he's seemingly dating the bandmate, because like this
Yes.
part he's like, no sex now, woman, I'm sciencing or something.
to the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Oh, I gotta make a call.
Phil!
No sex now, I'm working.
But then hangs out with Leah Thompson the whole time.
Yeah. Well, like she just gets pulled in because now this is like this career thing. Oh, I got ducks, whatever.
Yes.
The only really good reaction you get out of Tim Robbins is the part where Howard's like getting stripped and he's like talk about an invasion of privacy, and he's just like,
Talk about an invasion of privacy.
When the beam hit.
There's a lot of good stuff between them and dumb things where I was like, okay, movie, you got me.
yeah, they get along in a great hate relationship. Or like, I guess it's a love hate because Tim Robbins is definitely like, you're gonna make my whole life, and he's like, get away from me, nerd.
Yeah, I love how dismissive and like angry Howard is and how he treats everything. And it's not over the top. They didn't get Danny DeVito to literally do it, right? It's not.
No. It's a great voice actor.
It's not
that
a
they have
parody.
on that.
It's like it's like a real. You get the same, and he's kind of doing like the 20s thing, but not enough where that dominates the character. Just like a twinge of like, he's old school.
Read my mind!
Right. You're thinking, they know I'm a phony. They know I'm a yo-yo.
He wears a suit,
Yeah.
even on the weekends.
I love that temp job he has. Like,
Oh, yeah.
he goes to get a temp job, which
You've been sent to me because I'm famous for finding jobs for little slackers like you. That's right. They send me all the psycho cases, all the misfits.
I'm like, okay, in the 80s, I guess ducks could get whatever job you wanted.
Okay, I'm sorry to derail you.
Please.
But this is one of my main issues with like the movie now
Okay.
on like the rewatch. It's too long.
Oh, it's very long.
And they fit in this whole like arc of like he's like, oh, Leah Thompson, cool. I have a friend on in this strange place. No, I don't. I'm leaving. I'm gonna go do my own thing. And then he's somehow at like the unemployment office where they're like,
Yeah.
I know your type. You're trying to act crazy so you don't get a job. And like gets the job, gets fired from the job, and like that's fine, and we can be wishy-washy about how long all that took. But then when you get back to like the actual plot, the scientist, it seems like everything just happened like yesterday. It's all like very tight.
We could establish a continuing link between our planets, but he would have to leave tonight while the alignment still exists. We can't afford to wait.
And I'm like, wait, so all that happened in like one day? He like, ran out of options in life, went down to the unemployment to be assigned a job. Like, it's so crazy.
I do think that is a reference from the comics. I do remember the unemployment line thing, it's like or unemployment office or whatever. The weird thing for me is that like he looked like he was gonna bite her ass.
I got just the position for you.
And like was about to if things didn't just go right away. I was like, how would that have played out? And then like, what even is this place you're working at? It's some weird like is it a massage place?
It appears to be like a sex.
It's a weird. There's like tubs of mud and like jacuzzis and weird stuff.
It's like a spa, but it's like a sex spa.
Yeah, it's weird that like that would have a temp position.
Yeah, you're supposed to be the water expert, and I'm like, what movie are we? Like that whole thing. I'm not saying cut it out, but like, what is that?
You probably could cut it out.
Why is that in there? Like, what are we doing? Like,
it's for the lulls. Obviously, you laughed so much during that part. You had to watch
jokes. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Howard knocks the guy into said mud, and it's whatever. But man.
I need that creepy little dude in here to clean this place up. How am I supposed to run a class? Ah!
No,
it's brutal.
It's not a good part of the movie, and it robs us of valuable time we could be spending developing more of our main characters.
But see, how you mentioned that it does appear like no time passed at all. It is just the next day, even the same day, as a matter of fact, is because Tim Robbins, as if nothing had passed, has tongs ready to grab his fucking feathers.
The feather.
What feather? What are you talking?
If it matches, it'll be the answer to all your problems.
I'm like, does he just carry tongs with him all the time? Is he coming from a barbecue? Like, what is that?
Yeah.
I don't know. But
like Howard's reintroduction to them, there's no like arc where like he realizes something or there's some weird thing. He just kind of realizes he's near the place where she plays and ends up back there, and everything gets rolling again. It feels like a huge detour and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I love the old clubs with the chain link fence around the band.
Oh yeah.
I think that's so good.
There's I don't want to get off on this, but in Blues Brothers when they're playing at the club and just like bottles. Smashing against it.
Landis almost directed this movie, and the reason he turned it down was because he said the ending was too much like Blues Brothers with all the crashing cars.
Wow.
He didn't want to be that guy.
Is that real?
That's real.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of the ending, though, our boy Jeffrey Jones, whatever his name is, the other guy I'm talking about.
Yeah.
His transformation is amazing.
The dark overlords will engulf the earth. Nothing human will remain here.
A lot of great stuff here, and I'm a super big fan of.
All their things at that restaurant. That restaurant is so funny. Where like it must have closed multiple times, and like it's a mix of like what is it like? It's Italian, like Japanese,
it's like
like Cajun.
It's like
something?
an old-timey sushi diner. It's some weird, crazy, which is funny, and that's the.
Oh, I like it a lot.
But that's the kind of joke that isn't a joke that like they don't do anymore. The kids today. But
and then the food comes and it's just eggs, and you're like, what is this place?
Okay, when the food comes, I love the waitress and like how everybody plays off of each other. But there's a point where like she brings the food, Howard's very upset, and then the doctor, we'll call him the doctor, is like, the entire planet will become extinct. This will be the end of everything. And she's like, you haven't even tried it yet. It's this weird line where it's this like deadpan. I'm like, oh, it's so good.
What's wrong? This will mean the extinction of all existing life forms.
You haven't even tasted it yet.
Best line is when she walks away and goes, she took my eggs.
She took my eggs.
Can you just sit there?
She took my eggs.
Yeah, his whole when he starts doing there's no more Dr. Jennings, there's only Zool.
Yeah.
This whole stupid thing.
That whole
it's
funny stuff in there, but it's also so strange. Like the mob turns to murderous.
Yes.
Like all of them, as if they've been like, oh, the mummy's taken over the people and they're all going to try to kill you in a hive mind.
Any last words?
Yeah. Danny!
Minions now.
Very strange.
Well, they want to kill Howard the Duck.
But like, how did that happen? Like, what is that coin flip that everyone in this, every patron is now going out for blood, hold him down, murder this duck man?
We fear what we don't understand.
I suppose.
And one person may be smart, Leah Thompson, but people are dumb, panicky, scaredy cats, willing to kill a duck man in a outhouse, farmhouse, house of pancakes, house of eggs,
house of debauchery,
house of weird spa, sex zone, something.
Haha, typical hairless ape.
But no, we get to see like every type of effect, every type of thing here.
Yeah.
He like throws a bunch of tables and chairs all against the wall at one point.
Cool telekinetic stuff,
but
with some lightning shit.
Yeah, but like that felt better than a lot of stuff has felt in the last couple of years when someone's telekineticing. Because they just, I guess, took a bunch and just yanked it all over to the door.
I would imagine they all were hooked up to a line and just pulled them.
It was just smashing up against the wall, and I was like, cool.
No, it's really some sort of a Inception thing. No, the whole set rotated to the left and it all spilled over.
No. Yes, no, all of those things are bolted down and we move the whole room towards the side and they smash again. Yeah, exactly. Overthought thing. But yeah, the lightning stuff is great. These are the old effects I always talk about where they're glowing and the lightning. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's wow, that's actually really cool.
It's always
Sometimes
welcome.
It's not. What?
It's always welcome. Even when it's bad, I prefer it to like, oh yes, that Andrew Kramer bullshit. Like,
okay, sure. We are very jaded on like out of the box canned effects and stuff. And it just seems like the style is different too. Where when he just stands up and he's just glowing and everything.
Release the small waterfowl. Bring me the code key, Howard.
Right, the code key. You heard him.
And like I don't feel like people do that as much anymore. They make it to try to overdo it and make it too much of a thing. But it's like people shouldn't glow. So that's enough for the whole diner to be like, what? Give this man his eggs back. Oh my God, he's crazy. Yeah.
No, there's so many little things, and his character just goes so crazy, and he's visually just like deteriorating and turning into like a monster man. But
All right, turn me into a dark overlord. I'll still spit in your wormy face.
He's still like, I'm on the tour of the nuclear facility because that's the way you do it.
Yeah, he goes into like the nuclear core to get powered up and all that stuff.
1 million kilowatts.
He puts his tongue into the cigarette lighter, and that's amazing because this is just that guy with a big thing coming out of his mouth. Great.
It's a nice, 18-wheeler, Pee-wee Playhouse, Large Marge style tongue, just shoots out and does his thing. I like it.
How the hell am I going to explain a manhunt for a duck?
It's a duck hunt.
Please, don't start. Please.
It all culminates, of course, back at the lab, and we get that choice of like, you have to destroy it. That's your only way home, and all those things.
Yeah.
But leading up to that, we get more stuff, and this I was like, it's not clear to me how he solves the problem, and I know why I didn't remember it, because he ends up riding a golf cart that has an experimental laser on it, and then our dude gets separated from the giant space lobster that is like the bad guy.
Howard, it's not what? The evil's not inside me anymore. The explosion must have released it, and it's loose.
But I will never forget when, because the claws have 4 pinchers.
Yeah.
Which animals don't have 4 symmetrical pinchers. That's an alien.
Yeah.
And they all go back, and a weird tentacle comes out. And I vividly remembered that happening, and then him cutting it.
Slice salami.
Lose something.
And it being goo and then just laying there like a snake and stuff.
The thing that I thought the plot holes start really toward this ending bit here is that I thought during that whole experiment that where our boy turned into the alien guy in the first place, there's a giant explosion.
He was pre-activating the laser spectroscope. We lost control again, and there was another explosion. And Jennings caught the full force of the blast this time.
Machines seem to be totally decimated during that. There's shit everywhere. But when they go back there, it's like, did they work tirelessly to fix this while we were away? Because they go back as if the plan is just, no, I'm going to use that machine and bring my boys over. And
well, there was a problem with the last test, but I'm not sure if the machine itself was destroyed or
it just seemed
there's
debris.
There's I was just going to say there's a lot of debris everywhere, which I don't know what that's meant to symbolize.
Even if that's not to be what happened, it's weird that it can exist outside of a human host in the first place, because it
Yeah.
seemed like that was like the caveat, like, oh, this thing happened.
yeah,
'Cause
everything-
if that's not true, and you pulled the plug on the machine with like 2 seconds left or whatever it was, shouldn't they just be somewhere else, like how Howard was a few blocks away?
No, it's really dumb. The whole convoluted, because he takes Leah Thompson. I need your body to put the demons into the Morklocks from Blop Blop and stuff. And then yeah, his demon just comes out and is fine.
Yeah.
And then they're just on the way, but it's been demonstrated that like this was a time for like reverse the polarity or something.
Yeah.
And like, because it like visually shows them being like sent back, but it doesn't make sense for what's occurring. But yeah, Howard doesn't like use his smarts or use his friends or use the knowledge he's gained. He doesn't learn a lesson from his time on Earth, where like the duck that was abducted,
abducted
never could have defeated the space lobster. But now that he spent time with Leah Thompson, he's learned a thing, and he's going to use that, and he's going to repeat the phrase back to her, and she's going to be like, oh, Ducky, and it's going to be this whole fucking thing.
Yeah, no.
None of that happens. He just shoots the laser, and then he shoots the laser again, but he wins that time, and... And then the guy's like, oh no.
Which like further tells you it's not a kid's movie, because there isn't that moral.
Right.
So when you solidify this as an adult movie, it really cuts your market dramatically, because this is not made for everybody.
Because it's bonkers.
Yeah.
It's not, because
an
like
outlandish movie.
An adult movie would still be about something, even if it wasn't like an express moral. And like, we could believe, well, yes, we had to solve this problem, but there's no meaning there. The meaning is in the epilogue, which is the Howard the Duck theme song, and he's like, oh no, I'm on the stage thing, and I'm on stage now, and it's this goofy ass.
Everyone loves him.
And Howard the Duck is this weird, like, whatever. It's crazy.
They call him Howard the Duck. No way to conceal it. Then the feathers touch, I love him apart.
It makes no sense.
I think they won a Razzie for that being like the worst song.
Oh, that song's fine.
Oh yeah, a lot of things. I don't think this movie is the worst thing ever.
No.
Certainly worse things came out in '86 than this.
Every year, most definitely.
Well, you only compete against that year for the Razzies.
No, but it's not. No, it is not bad. It might be difficult to get through unless you're waiting for those delicious morsels that happen later in the film. But there's valuable, funny, and absurd things throughout. It's like worth watching.
And the whole time you're looking at any scene in the movie, you're like, wow, how much effort went into this scene?
Yes.
And that's, I think, the biggest walkway that I have. Takeaway is going, like, so much went into this. I was like, what was the budget? Like I can't imagine when you think about the little things, and not little things being the hero costume, $2 million. That's obviously like where money should go in a movie called Howard the Duck. Howard should look good.
Yeah.
But like every set looks nice. You have a lot of actors that like, not necessarily at their biggest points of their careers, but you did get them nonetheless. And things do work out beautifully. There's a lot of locations, a lot of things happen, a lot of effects for the time.
Yeah.
You can see how this not being a success could cripple, an industry.
It's a real ass movie, and like its history of it being a flop, its connection to George Lucas. I think even to study it, it's worth going back to be like, my understanding is they made some stupid duck movie. Like when you're watching it, you're not like, this is a stupid duck movie.
Yeah.
This is a real movie that some insane person convinced some other insane people, probably cocaine was involved, to be like, there should be a duck in this movie.
Yeah, usually you can say like, oh, well, this had just come out and they were trying to get off the success of that. And I was like, I don't know what the movie was that spawned this.
No, and like I can't imagine George Lucas having such a passion for Howard the Duck that he needed to like show it to the world and stuff. That alone is worth its own documentary. Because why? I don't make any sense.
Yeah.
I'm an innocent hostage. The duck's a lunatic. What?
I'm not a like Howard the Duck expert, but George Lucas to me is like PG-13 space swashbucklers. So why is he like I need a foul-mouthed alien
he's got his
duck?
thumbs in a lot of pies.
He does. And as an effects person, they've been exposed to a lot more, obviously. Yeah.
The claymation monster looks vaguely like the opening alien from Men in Black.
Interesting.
I wonder if there was any inspiration drawn from that. I do love that this like ultimate death ray the military makes is secured by a padlock. The
neutron disintegrator. And a big lock.
Rats.
Could easily be broken with like a hammer. I think that's hilarious. Granted, it is on a military base, so it is already in one layer of protection, but just the same. These are those things where you expect, like, it takes 2 key cards, like...
I just got a Mystery Science Theater 3000 vibe there.
As you should.
Yes.
I do love that, like, Fast and Furious-esque brief landing on a box truck with that airplane. I think that's a fantastic scene.
Touchdown! Great landing, Howard!
Yes.
There's a lot of little takeaway things. Like every scene itself might not be gold, but there's little things where you're like, that's really good. Oh, that's awesome. I like that.
No, and it's absurd to like have it be a real movie. I can't get I just said that, but I'll say it again. It's like crazy to watch each scene and be like, it's a club. It's full of extras. There's lighting. There's multiple setups and resets and lightings and shots. And they like drag him across the bar and things fall over and all this stuff. Like all of the effort put into this insane duck movie would never happen today unless it was someone's genius plan to like use the duck. Right? It would have to be
unless
marketing
he
shows us
prominently
that
gets
the duck,
featured in the next Guardians of the Galaxy.
Gross.
And gets like a spin-off in a cartoon, and then they like that for children, and it gets a movie like that.
Like it would have to be one movie of like a planned 8 movies that will later involve the duck, and everyone will just see it anyway because you have to see all 8 to get to the next Avengers or something. It has to be like that stupid thing.
Yeah.
Like no one would just randomly make a duck movie.
Not my shorts! Find the answer! You perverts!
Howard at one point says, "This is for you, Cracker," and hits a guy with a pie.
Oh, cool.
That's the only vaguely racist thing.
Could have gone with Hillbilly.
This one's for you, Cracker! Good shot! Another hungry customer! Yeah!
Could have gone with Redneck.
Yeah.
Chose Cracker. Only been on Earth for a short time. Already picked up the lingo.
Hey.
I respect it. I love the waitress she's like talking to the cop and it's like, and then it hit me, Halloween is next month. And goes through this whole thing. I'm like, oh, your kid's costume is dope. And you're like, what?
She was great, actually.
I liked her a lot.
Yeah, she stole a lot of scenes.
I tried to check her IMDb, but she's not like been in anything else really. There's been a few small things. I know.
Bring her back.
Right?
There was this big guy and this girl and this little kid. At least I thought it was a little kid. Then I flashed on reality, right? Bam! Halloween's not till next month.
Did you get a Back to the Future vibe with Howard at the end playing the guitar?
Oh, that's the same scene,
yeah,
so
right?
Yes. It's like, oh, I forgot. I already made fun of the Howard theme song. And then it's like, yes. And he comes out and like plays a face-melting guitar solo. I was literally like, what are we doing, guys? The movie's been going on for a day. Like, why is this happening?
Yeah. You expected an 8-minute post-credit scene.
Yeah.
There was not.
Or stuff to come back in or do something. There's really no, like, Howard's on Earth now, and he presumably is having sex with Leah Thompson. I don't know
for sure.
Not bad for a duck from outer space.
You were great, Ducky.
If we're meant to believe that. But, and that's great for him. That's wonderful. But, I mean, what's the sequel? Space is threatening us again. You have to steal another laser. Like, I don't know how this could be turned into a thing.
It cuts back to, like, it's like a few months later, and the band is no longer a thing. And it's like, Howard, you have to get a job.
Yes.
I'm pregnant. And it's him. And it's just a normal, like, like comedy you would have with the financial troubles of a couple about to have a baby in Chicago, wherever the hell they live.
Fake City, USA.
Yeah, Fake City, USA.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would watch
our
that.
building is condemned, and like some people are duckist against him, and
duckist.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
I'm Crazy Woody, and my prices are insane!
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff opinions you can really trust. Come